Hello and welcome back to Desmin's Creek, our 5th edition live play that meets on Wednesday nights. Last time, the party managed to escape from the events at the Nephrite Worm, the tourist trap of a fancy underground dining experience, as the tunnel rats busted in and started trying to take out the inventors, who the group intends to pitch employment, protection, something to. They need to check with their boss. A little worse for wear initially, but plenty of healing after the fight means that the party hasn't precisely disobeyed the Tiger's Eye. Between healing and mending, they look as good as they did when they were at the party. Ignore the haunted expression in their eyes.
It happens to everyone, eventually, you know?
I think just the people that work with you.
Hey,
That's
it wasn't
everyone,
our
right?
fault. They tossed grenades.
They're magic missiles.
Lots of magic missiles. It was their best way of getting damage on these two. And it was effective. And hard to stop, because none of you has counterspell.
Counterspell, yeah.
But they did.
I mean, I think now we only just have enough levels to even potentially have the ability to cast it, but I could be wrong.
7th level is when you get 4th level spells. Counterspell is a 3rd level spell, which you get at 5th level.
I only get 2nd level spells at level 7, so...
Yes, I apologize. When I said that, I was talking about full casters, because secondary and tertiary casters, the way they get spell slots, I have not bothered to memorize.
So, be a while before I get third.
But secondary casters should be roughly half of what a primary caster is, which is why if they're getting their 4th level spells, it makes sense that Morrigan is getting her 2nd level spells.
Yeah.
Alright, so the party, primarily Reggie, pitched to these two to come back to the Syndicate HQ to discuss their future here in the underground, which it was necessary for Reggie to roll very high on that persuasion check, since in the midst of the fight, just to make this very clear, you had disadvantage on that check because in the midst of the fight, one of the people you were trying to protect turned to Morrigan and said, "Is it always like this down here, so dangerous?" And she said, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah, I didn't think that
It's
one through.
exciting. A real moment. And if you make the right friends, then, I mean, it's not a concern.
Yes. Luckily, you're a silver-tongued bastard, and you're able to alleviate enough of their concerns to convince them to speak with the Tiger's Eye. And so, you are traveling through the tunnels. I give you this opportunity to have any discussions, conversations, ask any questions of these people that you intend to. They're traveling in relative silence. They're still pretty shook up by what just happened. They clearly are the kind of people who were used to working in whatever their workspace setting is, perhaps a nice clean lab of some kind, and then suddenly were very popular because of what they created and had access to, wealth and food and, just luxuries that they hadn't before. So they've really only known what you all might consider a relatively cushy life, and then suddenly they were in a war zone. They were watching the place get set on fire and they were being attacked with magic, and this was not fun for them. So they are handling it as well as any civilian can be expected to. I will say that the primary concern in protecting these people is the tunnel rats, and they left the place really on fire, and Grolthus was on fire, and his armor was on fire, and they had a lot of other things to think about. So they do not bother you as you make your way through the tunnels with these people. The sound of your footsteps echoes off the halls, and at times, as you're watching down side passages and corridors and turning here and there to check over your shoulder, you're going to note the uneven breathing and the jumpiness of your charges whenever somebody sets their foot down a little harder and it echoes a little louder around you.
I think Reggie wants to try and talk to them, just like to distract them, like make them feel easier. So he's like, so what's your favorite food? It's a question I always like to ask anyone. My wife, she makes the best lamb stew. I can't get enough of it.
That's true.
There is an icy haze that you're slowly penetrating through as you try to break it with your questions, but eventually they seem to wear down their nerves a little, and Dasha's going to say, my mother used to make these fried buns, different ingredients inside, meats or custards. It could be a meal or a dessert. I loved them. I could really use one right now.
Do I have a sense for, can I roll insight? I want to try and get a sense for where she's from.
Okay.
So I can try and place like what exactly this dish would be, or like where I might be able to ask to try and like find this dish to bring her.
Yeah, roll ahead. Go ahead and roll. Roll ahead.
That for an insight gives me a 22.
Okay. With a 22, just between the way that she talks and the description of the food, the cultures, that you're less traveled than a lot of people, but you are well connected. So you, especially just because of the renown of your grandmother, and how well the underground has connected itself to places beyond Bromdor, you would be aware that this sounds like a dish out of northern Sudaran.
Okay. Do I know of someone in the underground that I might be able to, like, get in touch with, that, like, might make this kind of food that I can...
On the 22, it was a family acquaintance through your grandmother. So you may or may not have ever interacted with them directly, but you do know a family name of people who had made their way to Volinar from Sudaran and brought similar recipes with them.
So Reggie will be like, that sounds a lot like something that my friend, I say the name, something that I remember my grandma talking that they made her at one point. I'm gonna see if I can find a recipe and see if my wife can work something with it. That sounds delightful. So even if you're not up for trying hers, I think I'm gonna have a good time.
She's sort of looking at you over her shoulder as you follow along behind her, a bit bewildered, surprised, unsure what to say to this. But as you ramble on about wanting to have your wife make this for you, you are going to see that her lips begin to curl into a small and grateful smile. Yes, I think that depending on how this discussion with your cat's eye goes, we will have an opportunity to share the meal.
I'm looking forward to it. And, of course, any notes that you have on that recipe when she makes it, because she won't have made it before, so anything to make it more authentic. Reggie is legitimately excited about this. He does really like food.
She seems surprised, to be having such a candid and interested conversation about something so removed from everything that just happened.
Yeah.
I think that it is working as a distraction, but at the same time there's still that lingering doubt that you can see behind her eyes, this doubt in the reality of the situation, right?
Yeah. This is a very weird situation for them to be thrown into.
Yeah. And I think you kind of see snippets of that how to say it? It's that hysterical reaction you get, that desire to laugh at the ridiculousness of a situation, especially after being in a life and death situation, barely surviving, feeling like maybe you were killed and this is hell. Just wondering how can this be what's going on after everything I just experienced? You get that aura from her that there's a part of her that just wants to laugh or cry or something that isn't continue walking down this strange tunnel underground and talk about buns. But she doesn't say anything. All of that stays behind her eyes, barely contained.
I think Reggie's pretty content for that kind of effect of just drawing it a little bit away from sort of focusing on the bad, and just sort of trying to have that be what's going on. I think he'll continue in this kind of vein of very not meaningless conversation, but nothing related to anything that just happened. And
now you had mentioned lamb. What was that? Lamb stew of some kind?
Lamb stew.
That's wonderful, because that's exactly where I was landing with Santos. Sorry, Elisa.
No, he said kind of and then there was nothing.
Landing, I think. I thought I was saying.
Yeah, no, it did come out. There's just a pause, so I think she was just trying to prompt you to continue.
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name. So for some reason, Santos' name just keeps bobbing out of my head whenever I need it.
I have sent you a message that doesn't have to do right now, but just before the scene's over.
You know what you need in order to do that. So you can always try, but you're going to have to draw it out.
Alright. Then... Alright, give me a minute then.
I think that, as you're talking about this, and she, continues to, like, try to, I can never think of this word. I don't know why it always leaves my head. Anyway, she's just trying to make sense of reality. The Dragonborn who's been trudging along, still kind of like admiring the work Mending did on his clothing. He had taken the brunt of the damage between the two of them, so he's still kind of like, you see him rubbing his shoulders, because of most of the magic missiles had struck him in the back, as he's been healed, but there's still that memory of the pain that he seems to be rubbing at. He's going to grunt and say, "That lamb stew sounds really good about now. That's the type of thing that I would always have on the coldest days in Evangard. Something that fills you up with warmth.
That's exactly it. The warmth, a meal cooked over a long time, over a nice hearth, meals together, had with a family, friends. It's just the best of everything. That one I can make sure she makes easier than this other thing that I need to find the recipe for. After we drop you off, I can go run over and stop by the market, make sure she has everything that she needs, and see what I can do.
As you say that, oops, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, is there ever a day that's not cold in Evangard?
To respond to that, he's going to kind of tilt his head from side to side and say, it depends on the part of the country you're in. There are quite warm areas, but I was out by Hillendale. That's very far north in the cold. Always. Oh. He sort of chuckles as he realizes, no, there aren't any days that aren't cold from that perspective. He's going to, as you were saying before, you're going to see a bit of panic cross his eyes. He sharpens and looks up, ahead down the tunnel as you say, drop you off. And after answering that question, he's going to return to that and say, you're not staying with us to protect us.
The place that we're taking you, very safe. But if you want us to, I can send somebody else to go and make that grocery run. I know there's a guy I know who knows how to pick the good vegetables, so I have no concerns about what he'd be bringing to Joy.
And if you have further concerns of safety, I'm certain at least some of us could stay by you until you're feeling more at ease.
You're going to see him look over to Dasha, who reaches out, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder, which he takes hold of as he continues walking. He says, I think both of us would feel a bit better if you all, or most, whoever can, would be willing to stay with us until the negotiations are complete. Not that I completely distrust your tiger's eye, he says, like, kind of emphasizing the word tiger and looking meaningfully toward Dasha. But we haven't met her, and we were protected by you.
I think that's a very fair request, and I'll make sure that I stay, and I'm gonna get working on that note that I need to send to Joy. And he turns to Desmin. He's like, "Can you give me a piece of paper so I can write down the shopping list and a little note?"
Yes, of course. Desmond will grab a piece of paper from his ledger and hand it to Reggie.
And Reggie is working on a shopping list for lamb stew ingredients.
Dash is gonna say, I know we came from a party with plenty of food, but I think it may be helpful if there was something we could get to calm the nerves before this negotiation.
Oh, you could always stop by my tavern and pick up some stuff.
She's going to turn her gaze to Morrigan, that kind of manic look of hysteria behind the eyes deepening as she, having seen you taking swings with your axe at these assailants, in spite of your clothing that marked you as one of her kind, she...
No, she hasn't, like, hidden the axe after going either. She's kind of like drilling it as walking in front.
Yeah, exactly. You're still carrying this massive weapon. So you can see...
Oh yeah, no, she don't care about acting anymore. That was for the party.
No. But in light of that, you can see that she is, or at least has been, harboring this renewed perception of Morrigan since meeting at the party, and she's going to say, you own a tavern?
Yeah, that's one of the underground. My barmaid deals with it when I'm out on missions.
Your barmaid? Well, I hope that she
she's a surfer like you. I think you would like her.
Ah. Yes, perhaps I would. She mixes drinks?
Yeah, she makes some food too. It's not quite as good as Reggie's wife, but he's getting there.
She looks back to Casanthus. Says, I think it would be good for us to take a little break there. Don't you think, dear? He's going to, rub his reptilian chin, seemingly thoughtfully, and go, let me think about that a minute. Yes, I think that would be a very good idea. Some libations to smooth out the evening, if you will.
Good. I can
Please.
lead you the way once we're getting close.
Is it still Morrigan?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Please.
No, I didn't lie much to you. Lots of just...
eyebrows rocket skyward.
Much. Poor choice of words.
more
Also,
like kinder behavior. Acting. You can call it acting.
Lying with style.
I did send a follow-up message.
Did you? Oh, I must still be on it. Oh, yep, I am. I'm looking for the one. It's not there. It's because I'm still on our chat.
Hey, I caught your attention, didn't I?
Well, not to downplay your very commendable assets, but it doesn't take much more than a swagger and a pair of breasts to capture his attention.
Hell, if I knew that, I wouldn't need to go so hard.
I should have assumed I wasn't going to see where you keep that axe tonight.
She just laughs at her. That was a dice roll.
Just because I wanted to.
Oh. I was
You
worried it
chose-
was a DM that was like checking something.
No, definitely not. But just out of curiosity, what's everyone's passive perception? No reason.
Thanks for covering, Desmond. I mean, shit! Alright. You make it back into the Syndicate headquarters from your outing at the Nephrite Worm, or whatever's left of it now.
Beforehand, could I have sent a sending to Tiger's
Yes. Do you have it written up?
Eye? Yes. Let me copy it. And I will post in Snark. Tunnel rats attacked. Escaped event with charges in tow. Bring him back to HQ. Can you prepare to meet and talk business with them?
Very good. You will receive a response.
That was
Two
Desmond's
words.
first sending.
I was this close to saying sincerely, Reggie.
But you're one word so short, so it's just sincerely.
That was my last third level spell slot, by the way. So hopefully we
What the
don't
fuck did Reggie
have any
do?
more. What the fuck did Reggie do? Yeah, instead of tunnel rats attack, start with Reggie went overboard. Escaped event with charges in town.
At some point during the walk back, I'll say in Thieves' Cant, for those who understand it, don't mention their wounds and they shouldn't remember them.
Reggie gives some innocuous response in Thieves' Cant to make it not weird that that statement was said and is acknowledged.
There we go. Alright. 25. You receive the message. I like to say telepathically, but it comes from evocation, so something. But you receive a message back from the Tiger's Eye that comes across to you meanings-wise as, "You picked up new trick. Use with care and moderation with me. Will prepare immediately. Trust they are in good health. Make report after meeting."
Right. Well, after what? So Desmond's going to ask if. So are we stopping off before we head to headquarters?
They want some bite. Might as well.
Very well. Tiger's Eye will be ready for them when we get there.
Why? How do you know?
Oh, I sent to her.
We can do that now.
Yes. I have that ability now.
Just learn.
But she did tell me to use it in moderation with her, which makes me very sad.
Well, you can use it with me. Reggie, is trying to is knowing full well what he's getting himself into, but knows that it's better than him being overbearing towards the tiger's eye. So there's that a little bit of hesitance in Reggie's voice that even his deception is not able to cover.
Oh, stay away from my head.
We're practically together anyways a lot of the time, so it's not going to be necessary.
Visible relief.
I'll only use it when necessary anyways. Like right now.
Alright, so I think I have answered the player questions in ahead of returning to the headquarters. So you make your way inside. It is, evening. It was an evening gala, and so it is late evening, a time when most people on the surfers, would be asleep or headed there. The Syndicate itself is broken into shifts because there are people that work better in the day, better at night. In the tunnels, light and dark is often a non-issue, a moot point, as the light there is all artificial. So there is a lively... The tavern itself, however, is, of course, runs around the schedule of its operators. Morgan and Susie? Susan?
Susan. I mean, right? Susie can be a pet name, but yeah, Susan.
Susan, yes, okay. I always get it wrong. Susan.
Yeah, Susie is the Deltarune character.
Yeah, Susie's just the nickname for Susan in English.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Susan. It is in full operation now. These are, the high drinking times. Last call will be in a few hours. There is a general din about the headquarters itself as the goods that are not transported on the canals during the day make their arrivals and departures at the headquarters. You do catch a glimpse of boxes being moved to and fro by an exceedingly buff kobold of blue and black scales. This does seem to capture the attention of your wards as you move past that part of the headquarters and usher them to the tavern. Inside, there is a healthy number of people here, talking loudly, regaling each other with stories, complaining to one another, and generally getting drunk. Susan is behind the counter as ever, taking orders and filling them there. Mostly shouting, at this point, just shouting for people to come up and get their food rather than take it to them. It's too busy right now.
I should get her a bell.
We could get her a bell.
Bing! 42.
If you get a bell and place it anywhere near the customers, I will destroy it. Nobody's summoning me with a bell.
Hi there.
Hi there. Where have you been all evening? The clothes I gave you look like they've been used.
I look down at them, confused. You know what I mean? Look fine to me.
You got in a fight.
I wasn't too close to the fire.
There was a fire?
Oh yeah, one of the tunnel rats set it on fire.
One of the tunnel
You do
rats.
very oddly start saying Reggie and then stop.
Yeah, I give her a very obvious wink.
She was already somewhat skeptical, thinking it was you, and that this was just a poor cover. Now she's just convinced it was you.
I'll tell you more about it later. Oh, we got some clients who wanted to stop by for some food.
Food? Yeah, if you're willing to get rid of the frills and help me out, that shouldn't be a problem.
Naturally.
Good. She's going to literally...
Let me just get out of these first.
She's gonna huck an apron across at you and then hold up the side of the bar so that you can pass behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into my bedroom because my door is behind the bar.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in there, put away my axe, change into something that's more bar-y.
The rat squeals at you from its, whatever you've decided to keep it in.
A cage. That's a cage. I slip it some, like a finger food that I snatched from the party. Because they had like trays with finger food, I assume, so...
You snatched these and just, like, pocketed them.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose in a pouch they'd survive the fight. The pouch I can't speak to. The rat takes the food and munches on it happily. You get changed out, and you explain to her the kind of food that these people seem to want, and she begins giving you the orders of, what you should be preparing, while she continues to field orders at the bar and, do what she can as you divide and conquer here. The rest of you, I assume, are going to sit these two at a table and keep close company to them as they seem inclined toward your company?
I think so. I think basically as soon as we sit down, though, Reggie looks like at the table like 2 over and is like, "Oh, perfect," and looks at Senthus when he says that and pulls out the note, and he runs over to the table where there is an elf who looks very excited, like very tired, very excited to like take a sip of this drink. And there's a plate of food, like untouched food, right in front of them. They just sat down, and he's like, "Georgie, just the elf I wanted to see."
Reggie, what?
I need you to go to the market and get these things and bring them and this note to my wife.
Okay.
She's gonna make some lamb stew. I'll make sure that you get some too.
As soon as I finish eating my food. Just sit down.
He's
But you have better food.
He's like,
If you just go do this now.
I mean, I think look, the quicker that she gets, the quicker she gets the ingredients, the quicker she starts making the food, which means the quicker you get some of her lamb stew.
Reggie, let's be reasonable here for a moment. I haven't looked at the sun today, but I'm pretty sure it's not out.
Yeah, but there's the market down here.
Yeah, no, there definitely is, and they're definitely operating. I meant, your wife sleeps at night, pretty sure? Or does she keep your hours?
We keep fairly similar hours. Also, that's what the note is for. Look, I'll go and talk to Morgan and get you something that's a little bit more mobile than this dish.
Mobile? You know what I spent on this? This is my favorite. They only make it on Tuesdays.
Reggie like passes a bag with like clearly with money to him and is like, look, I really need you to do this for me, please. Next Tuesday, as much of this as you want on me.
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a delivery today. Classic Reggie. He's going to stand up abruptly from the table, push in his chair, allowing it to clatter, noisefully, and say, somebody better eat this. Because it was made with love, Reggie. My love. He's going to...
It'll go to a good place, and next Tuesdays will be even better. Plus, the lamb stew.
Lamb stew is only my third favorite dish, and it is only because of that I'm giving you a simple as I leave. And he's going
Wait, what's
to...
your second?
Corn dogs.
Interesting. We can have corn dogs next Tuesday too. Well, actually, probably not on Tuesday. That way you can save room for... what is this dish?
It's gonna be some kind of seafood dish. That's why they only do it once a week. It's gotta be fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Crab a la king or some shit like that.
Okay.
Blue lobster.
So he's like, not next Tuesday, because that way we can save more room for the crab. But next Monday, we do the corn dogs. And then Tuesday, we do as much of the crab as you can fit in your stomach.
He's going to narrow his eyes at you as he pockets all of the things you have given him. The order, the note, the gold. He's going to give you a very curt nod of assent that will happen before he delivers on his promise of giving you a and turning on his heel and marching out, leaving the crab steaming on the table.
Reggie picks it up and brings it to the table. He's like, this is one of the best things that is served at this tavern.
That's just correct. I was gonna offer to bag it. I was gonna offer to bag it.
Bag it.
It just doesn't travel well, you know?
It won't keep.
No, not anymore.
Shut up.
You can only travel sideways.
God, all of you. That guy needs a name now.
Georgie?
That was what?
Georgie.
Georgie, right.
At least that's what Reggie called him.
That is what
I don't
Reggie called him.
know what
It's
his full
probably
name
not
would be
his
here.
real name. One moment.
His real name's actually Sebastian. Somehow Reggie just started calling him Georgie.
Is that why he likes crabs so much? All right.
Actually, no, Sebastian was his father. He has issues he's working through.
All right. Sebastian Georgie Goldleaf.
Another NPC to add to the list.
It's on the list. High Elf Contact.
So he's in the books?
Reggie. This one's in the books.
This one's in the books.
Suffers Reggie's errands and manipulations frequently. There we go.
Likes crab.
Likes crab. You're up. Yep.
Likes crap.
Likes crab, then corn dogs, then lamb stew.
Favorite foods. Crab. Corn dogs. Lamb stew.
Likes death metal.
What? I didn't catch that.
No, it likes death metal.
Likes death metal. All right, he likes death metal. I hadn't been aware that it had been invented yet. It probably is something fantasy.
It's really up and coming.
It's real up and coming. Nobody thought to use drums this way before.
Yeah, it's proto death metal.
Hardcore. It's hardcore. It is. Yep. Okay. So, Georgie is off doing what you've asked him. You have stolen his dinner and provided it to your table. Anybody who likes crab may partake. I have Spider and Vulcan following as part of the group, but I should double check just to make sure, since you guys haven't inputted desires or anything so far, if there is anything special that you want your characters doing, saying, ordering, go anywhere to go. If they're not going to participate in this, you have options, so you're not forced to be here. Only the NPCs have asked that the group stay to protect them, and it's not required to be all of you if you want to do your own things. You are back home.
Spider would order a schnapps, and he'll stay with the group.
Okay, schnapps it is. Easily enough done. Vulcan, I don't know that I've heard from you, so I'm worried about audio. And I'm still not hearing anything, so there might be an audio issue.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or you might have BRB'd and not told me. I don't know. Jacob!
Hey, what?
There you are. I wanted to double check and make sure that Vulcan was getting to do things he wants to do. You're just not required to stay with the group now that you're home. The NPCs have asked that the group continue protecting them, but it's still like you still have free will and can go do things. Or I don't know how he wants to be handling the food situation that the rest of the party has put him in.
He will take his leave and I'll go see the Tiger's Eye real quick.
You're going straight to the Tiger's Eye?
He wants to talk to her before the meeting.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting indeed.
I'm curious, like, how long does Vulcan's disguise work?
His disguise broke when he shot in the fight.
Oh, interesting.
Disguise broke when he shot in the fight. Okay, sorry, I had to parse that out. What was the disguise?
It was he cast a disguise self on himself. So.
Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, you stopped being the Tabaxi.
He was the Tabaxi now.
Joined combat. Okay. Then.
Is there a reason you stopped being disguised?
When his arm turned into a gun, I don't think anybody was gonna be able to see that and maintain the illusion.
Well, I mean, that is kind of the point of illusion magic. They don't necessarily see the gun; they just see the bullet when it hits the wall.
He just fires a
But that's
bullet
just
out
me.
of his arm.
I'm just curious because if it was like a choice or something else. But anyways,
I think
I figured the
main
disguise
reason-
would break when he shot.
You wouldn't lose the spell, since it was a spell that did it. But like anything that extended beyond the reach of the spell would extend. So like people probably did see a gun extend out of your arm in a weird way for a tabaxi, since like the end of the barrel, because I think it's like a rifle.
Oh yeah, it's like basically my hand like folds up and the barrel is in the wrist.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with disguise, I believe that is able to hide anything that is within the confines of the illusion, and you can make the illusion bigger than you know, to fake height and things like that. But once, you know, large, something small like an arm becomes bigger than a human arm, those are going to start to protrude outside the illusion. So I do agree.
So if anything did happen with the illusion, our companions would be seeing through the illusion, because that would be enough to like cause the disbelief. So they would see you within the illusion. I think
others might just see like a tabaxi with an arm cannon, just because they still believe it's a tabaxi who might have magic or magitech or something. I'm just saying that it sounds like Vulcan's personality is such that once he's joined combat, he just drops the pretense of not being a Warforged and just drops the disguise. That's just what he would do. Is that what you're saying?
That's also fair.
That's cool. I just was wanting to make sure I understood what was going on.
Yeah, I'll see he dropped the disguise.
Cool.
So yes, some people would have witnessed a Warforged fighting, but there was a lot of chaos, so who knows what anybody remembers.
Yeah, I'm also more curious about like what our guests would think about him once they know he's no longer in disguise.
I mean, as far as they're concerned, they don't seem to be eyeing him warily or anything like that. They, like, from a surface level assessment, it seems that their main concern and interest is that you're not attacking the Warforged and the Warforged isn't attacking them, so it's simply not a threat. And in the best case scenario, it's one of the defenders, and like the Warforged did help heal them earlier, so like it's any like moment of like I don't know and trust this thing is kind of like buried under the chaos of the fighting and the relief of being protected and or healed by it.
Okay.
So they're not really...
I'm sure they would have a lot of questions once things cool down, because, you know, they're scientists.
That is very likely, but right now they're not asking them. Alright, so... I think that gives, other than Spider, that gives everybody up here at least a little bit of a chance to express their characters' wants and desires for this part, so I'll just quickly ask Spider, other than the schnapps, are you satisfied with your involvement in this scene?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to contribute.
You're always allowed to, you know, ask a question directed at a character, any character, but yeah. But if there isn't anything that's jumping straight to mind, he's mostly just sitting there sipping, observing, listening, watching, waiting.
Yeah, keeping an eye out on the area.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then I will say that the people you're protecting are very much like fish out of water here. They're suddenly surrounded by, you know, true denizens of the underground, not the it's a small world cast of characters that were shown at the Nephrite Worm before it burned down, God rest its soul. And that's jarring to them. They are, you know, they seem to be comfortable with the party, even like kind of sinking into that protection as they, you know, shrink down and watch all these others more warily. But the place is just another party, more or less. where they don't know anybody. So they're on edge, but not so bad because they've got the majority of the party here looking out for them, I would say. So what you're watching is to make sure nobody comes and messes with them. The Syndicate, the other members of the Syndicate, they are leaving you alone. You're the A-team. They're just here to drink.
I imagine so a lot of the people who work in the Syndicate, they're sort of like logistics. You have Francis he's mostly just doing shipments.
Yeah.
Carrying stuff around.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Most people in the Syndicate have like their one job that they're responsible for. It's a lot of picking things up and putting them down. Like there's a lot of people devoted to that. Francis is just one of the people who does that, and he's very good at it because he's insanely strong. Especially given his size. He takes a lot of pride in you know, he'd tell you like he's like the main guy. He's not the main guy. There's tons of people who do his job, especially because he doesn't work around the clock. There's a lot of people whose job is just to keep track and organize things. You know, there's the people who like the quartermaster who is seeing the dispersal of equipment and weapons. There's quartermasters, for lack of another term, managing every piece of stock in this place because you're a supplier. The Syndicate is a supplier for the city. They bring in, they place orders and they bring in merchandise, food, wood, blankets, ingredients, explosives, people, and they see that they get where they need to go, either into the city or out of the city. So that's what everything here is. Everything is to make that continue happening. And it's one of the reasons that this place is so blessed by Arathis. It's keeping the city running.
Spider has decent insight. It's not terrible. So if he's picking up on their discomfort, because if they're looking around the room at other people,
yeah.
If he's picking up on that paranoia,
yeah,
he's going to point out like 2 or 3 people who are, they're not like thieves, they're not assassins or anything like that. They are just people who manage inventory and all that. And he'll just point out like a few of them to try and normalize some of the people.
Yeah.
So it's like these are the same people you'd meet above ground. They just happen to work down here.
I think
like
that's
they could have worked
strategy.
in any part of the city.
Yeah, that's a very good strategy. And you would definitely have the opportunity to do that. There are several of those logisticians here, the logistics people, for you to point out to them and say, hey, not all of us here is a fighter. In fact, very few people here are actually fighters. And this does seem to start to put them at ease as drinks come, as food begins to arrive. The crab can be shared to the table as more of an appetizer. All right, good. No, that's good. You're definitely contributing to their sense of ease. All right. I'm going to jump over to the Tiger's Eye and Vulcan's meeting before the meeting. You want to have a private talk with her?
Yeah, so these guys, we want them because they developed technology to harness the Ultimate Fate power, right?
Yes.
Yes, so Vulcan is very interested in that, and so is Zendar, so...
Okay. Alright, then, if you guys will excuse us, we're gonna pop to the closet for a moment. Be back. Alright. You head away from the party as they settle into the bar. with the people you're protecting, and you head down the levels to Tiger's Eye's office. The guards there allow you to pass, and Tiger's Eye, without looking up as you enter, is going to say, "Ah, good, you're here. We can begin this negotiation." Vulcan, it is only you?
Yes, they are taking a moment to recuperate at the tavern, but I wish to speak with you beforehand.
She's going to kind of lean back in her chair, taking a breath and sliding some papers out of the way, taking a moment to scratch Winston on the head and say, "Very well. What would you like to discuss?"
As you know, my father sent me here to allow me to learn away from home, but also I'm here in an attempt to obtain technology that will allow me to permanently do that.
A way to no longer need your charging station.
Yes, that is my primary reason for coming here.
Indeed.
And I believe these people might have the technology to allow me to do that. So, primarily, I wanted to tell you that during negotiations, you have the full backing and resources of my father. In fact, he can actually come to the meeting if that would be helpful. I can message him and
That is a very interesting proposition. Let me think on it for a moment. You believe that Mr. Draknir would want very badly to have control of this technology, and so would offer his extensive resources to secure it.
I do believe so, yes.
How would you feel if I were to tell you that I wish to have control of this technology for the similar reasons to your father?
I'm sure my father is willing to be in sort of a partnership. The money is not necessarily the concern. He wishes to allow me the freedom and to be able to create more. The access to this power to do that and much more.
That does seem like it is very likely this is a path to tread in that direction. I do not know if what they have created will allow you to do this right away, but I do believe that it will push us down that path. And that, I want to tell you very honestly, is something that I want for you, for me, for us. Mr. Draknir, your father, is a man of great means and great accomplishments, but also great infamy. One does not easily escape a past of violence, especially where economics are concerned.
That is true. He would happily be a silent partner. He has many such relationships with many people.
I think that, in very short, I would say that I have personal concerns for my safety and for my control of the Syndicate in its entirety, were I to enter into any type of business relationship with your father, beyond what we already have exchanged. She indicates Vulcan himself as being part of such an arrangement. But it is good to know that it is something of such value to a man as Bendar Draknir. And I confess, I do have curiosity to look the man in the eye, if only just the once.
this is something he would be very interested in. So partnership would probably be would be my suggestion, because he would not let it go.
Are you aware of how I became the leader of the Syndicate?
No, I am not.
Not many are. It is not a story one tells others, not for accolades or for a good time. But let me tell you that the short of it is that my predecessor, she entered into a partnership with a Draknir, Vendar's father.
This, my father has made a great effort to not be like his.
I have heard that this is the case. I have seen, through the shape of things around the world, through my spies, through my network of connections, that this is at least a goal he does work toward. One has predilections, of course. We cannot fully deny who we are, for it is informed by who we were. I think that, if nothing else, his connection to the divine is evidence of the truth of his desire to be different from his father. But I think it is a poor businesswoman who does not prepare herself, steel herself against the possibilities that one is not completely able to change, even should they want to. Let me think a moment. There is much to be gained. The partnership is dangerous. But he will not accept a blind gift. No, I wouldn't. It had been part of my plan, Vulcan, that should these two scientists have done as they claim, harnessed the power of Elsamanth and his ilk in a way that our people could use, that this could be developed into something of a power source for you, that I would give this to you. That was my plan, indeed. But perhaps it was presumptuous of me to think that I would be able to place such a powerful object into the possession, however indirect, of a man like Vendar Draknir, and not expect that he would do something about it. Whether that is feelings of gratitude or ownership, it could lead to abrasiveness between our economic interests. I don't wish to speak over your head or bore you with the gory details of running such a organization as I do. But perhaps you are right. Perhaps this is the kind of thing that I should directly involve Mr. Draknir in, not maybe as a silent partner, but a way to come to an understanding of what it is I am gaining from you and what he will be gaining through you. She seems to be assessing this as she looks you up and down, weighing how she feels about her own proposition, literally bouncing it off of you.
I think my father would be open to such an arrangement.
Are
is,
you of a mind that this is a fair arrangement? I would not ask you to bring your father into a deal that is not going to work out in his favor. That would be underhanded and not a good way to stay in business for me. So, you say that you think he would be amenable to this. But is your heart, such as it is, in that?
I believe so.
All right.
This is something he greatly desires, and I do not think the glory of having invented it himself is important.
Well, there certainly is that to consider, isn't there? Well, I shall choose to trust you. You know your father a great deal better than I do, at least on a personal level. I know business, and I know how to hold on to mine. I think that if the two of us can make a convincing argument to your father, that he and I can have a good working relationship where neither of us is looking over our shoulder.
I think that would be ideal.
Very well. You have a way of communicating to your father. How would he come here, physically?
As you know, my father is very wealthy and has access to powerful magicians, wizards and such.
I suppose that is true.
And I have a bag of holding. In this bag of holding, I have boards that have been had a transportation circle on them, so I can place those down, and he can transport here.
The man thinks of many things. Does not mention all of them, but I suppose one does not stay at the top of the business without keeping some secrets. So he had a way into my home this entire time, ever since you arrived.
He did not mean it as such. I occasionally need updates, and he needs to be personally here to give them to me.
Has he been here since you arrived?
No, but we have a scheduled update for next week.
Are you amenable to agreeing to inform me ahead of any visit from your father, and making certain that that visit takes place only in allowed areas of my home?
Yes, I can agree to that.
Very good. Given that you are created by a man of business, I assume that you understand the binds of contract, and we will both hold to them.
Yes.
Very good. I do wish to assure you that I am not angry with you. I'm not even angry with him. This is surprising, and yet I perhaps should have seen it coming. I worry about my ability to see the truth of things as I get along in the tooth, as they say.
Yes, my father cares a great deal about me and makes sure that he can help me when he can.
All right. Then we will consider the matter agreed upon and closed. As for this meeting with these scientists, you will set up your circle here in my office where I can see him appear and go.
Okay.
He will need someone with him to take him back, will he not?
Yes, I will let him know. I'm sure he will bring someone across.
He is
Someone that-
allowed 1+1. Henceforward, for your updates, the place that he will be allowed to walk freely will be only the room we have given to you for charging and your experiments.
That should be the only place he needs to be.
I agree. So long as he agrees to this, then all is well. All is understood, and there is naught to forgive. Make your communication to your father, and let the others know that wherever they are, I expect them here soon.
He'll nod and go to leave.
Vulcan,
Yes?
good work.
Not again.
I think that you have learned a great many important things from your parents. I hope, very truly, that you will hold on to the good ones and be able to parse out the poorer things they can teach.
I'll cock his head a bit at that.
I wish to believe in the goodness of Vendar Draknir, but I have many years' experience, especially with other Draknirs, that makes that very difficult. Suffice to say, he has a chance to prove me wrong and make a very powerful ally. I do hope that good business sense prevails over his desire for power.
My father cares about helping the world, making it a better place. He can get carried away in the methods of doing so, but his goal is always virtuous.
His father's name, that was Darkin, was it?
His father's name was Thandros was named after his father. His name was Thaden or
Thaden. That sounds right. I have it written down somewhere, but I haven't used it in a while, so I couldn't remember.
yeah.
I think Darthan was somebody else. Another person's father. One of the other NPCs. Okay. Yeah, we'll find it. Okay. In any event. She will nod at this. Say, I am glad to hear that you believe so well in him and his desire for good. It is no mean feat for people like Vedar Draknir to change from what the world tries to make them to be.
He has worked a lot to change from what his father made him to be.
Well, you are a good example of this truth. Thank you, Vulcan. You are dismissed.
Not again. Leave. Should actually write a sending to Vendar?
You can. I think it is a good idea, but it isn't wholly necessary. I think it's a good idea, so yeah, just do it. It helps us roleplay that stuff to know what was said, what information was able to be conveyed, and what wasn't.
Alright, I'll DM you.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to figure out what channel we're supposed to be in and move us there. There we go. Alright, here we go.
So suddenly it starts getting louder and then it just does that that kind of, is it a Doppler effect where it goes near? Oh, it's so funny.
Very well. So, you do that, Vulcan, and then you make your way back to the tavern. where you know the party is. So, as Vulcan's on his way, sorry that took a while, so please tell me, is there anything going on here while Vulcan is still away that people want to run by me or discuss?
We were just talking movies.
So,
good.
in the meantime, the food has come. The scientists have settled considerably. You can see, especially as they imbibe and eat the food that is brought to them, that the weight of the events of the evening, the pain of the fight, seems to be lifting from their shoulders. And they, especially as they begin to dig into the food, they're looking around less. They seem to be worrying less and smiling more. They even seem to chat quietly to one another about the crazy things that are going on, and yet what possibilities await them as they eat their food together.
How do you spell Elseman?
Ultimate?
Elseman.
Elsementh. ELSEMENTH.
It's been a long time since we've needed to spell the names of the dragons.
Elsementh's the only one anybody worries about these days.
Yeah. I wonder if someone ever did something with the bodies of the others.
Elsementh Day is coming up soon, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
I suppose that makes sense.
Nope, I didn't kill that ad break, but that's fine. Just sorry, just waiting on this sending some information before we continue. Again, unless anybody at the table still has anything new that has come to mind that they'd like to ask about or play out.
I think we've covered everything that Reggie would want to explicitly call out. Or I guess that I would want Reggie to explicitly call out and all that.
Oh no, his character is telling him how he wants to live his life.
He's becoming self-aware.
Oh god. Of all the characters for it to happen to.
Mazes and Monsters is a far-out game. There we go. Alright. So, you receive that sending, and you head up to the tavern.
Walk up to the group. It's time for the meeting.
Yeah, I'll join up with you.
Morgan comes back, still wearing the apron, now splashed with some residue of food and drink.
Oh no, I would take that off before I go out of the out of the bar.
Leave it for Susan to deal with.
Hey, I'm paying her, aren't I?
Somebody is.
There's something you'd wear it over to Reggie and Reggie would clean it.
A kinder thing.
Don't
to
give her
do.
the idea, she will actually do it.
Yeah, Reggie would absolutely offer to clean it if you come out with it like dirty.
I half expect that she like comes up to the table and is just like tugging the ends of it and looking down at it a little troubled, like non-verbally saying like, "Fix this for me."
Oh yeah, let me get
Sorry.
that.
That's just what I imagine.
Couple prestidigitations later.
Oh, right. I thought it meant that you were actually gonna clean it. Magic. Magic exists.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could take it home and wash it, but honestly, if I took it home to wash it, I would just do this and then bring it to you tomorrow, and that seems like a waste of all of our time.
Yeah. Hilariously, for some reason, in Pathfinder, clerics have access to prestidigitation, but I didn't remember this, and so we spent like a good portion of a session trying to figure out how to clean something, and then when role-playing it out, and then afterward I was like, oh, I have prestidigitation prepared. I just didn't check my sheet.
Oops.
You just wanted to teach the party to be able to exist without him.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to clean shit.
In your defense, wasn't that the day you didn't have your sheet?
I don't remember. I didn't look at it, is all I can tell you with certainty. Alright. So, the group heads down to the Tiger's Eye's office. You are allowed in by the guard, and you begin to assemble on the opposite side of her desk from her, where she seems to be expecting you. She is, in fact, watching you enter, and does not seem to be working on paperwork, as she almost always is whenever else you approach her. She's got Winston in her lap with the eye patch still on him, and he is purring as she strokes his side.
Vulcan will walk over to an unoccupied area and start assembling something out of his bag of holding.
She seems to watch Vulcan move to this corner and begin pulling something out of his pocket, and then return her attention quickly to the rest of the group, where she scans over you, and then finds the NPCs. And she brings her attention back to Desmin. Says, "I trust the party went well."
It got a little hot in the end.
It went well until, yes, till the end.
And the end was not so hot, she says, eyeing Morrigan, that our esteemed guests would have any complaints.
I believe they can speak on that themselves.
Looking more than a little uncomfortable, but seemingly comforted somewhat by the group fanned out around them, the two are going to shuffle from foot to foot and clear their throats one after the other before Senthis is going to say, "No worse for wear, surprisingly. The establishment where we were having our get-together was attacked by a group of bandits, marauders, something of the sort, and they seemed to want very badly to bring us to harm, but your fighters, as it were able to protect us very well, as a matter of fact. I think there was a good deal of magic being directed our way, but they weren't able to hit us, which is a relief."
What must the tunnel rats? that attacked.
Hmm?
No, she just fills in. It was the tunnel rats again.
But they've never gotten the best of us, and they never will. And when I say that, I'm going to give the Tiger's Eye Bardic Inspiration. Because I feel like that will be useful for this conversation for her.
I see.
And also, I, at 6th level as a bard of College of Eloquence, have Unfailing Inspiration. So if you add my Bardic Inspiration and your check fails, you keep the inspiration.
Ha! That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You will see her kind of straighten up a little as your magic takes hold. The blush on her cheeks seems to deepen a bit, and her pallor improves. If there was any ill effects of hiding herself away in the deepest recesses of an underground lair, they are well hidden under the bearing she now presents. As you inspire her. She's going to sigh and shake her head somewhat. Say, I am not sure they will ever learn that they cannot best my A-team. But I am glad that that statement continues to be true. And your charges are unharmed. So, all is as good as it could have hoped to be. Now then, we have business to discuss, and I am certain that many other offers were made by the surfers at the party you came from. I have a feeling that we can convince you that here is where you belong, if you will permit me the time to make the case. I have a... And she raises a hand, extending it in a direction over Spider's shoulder toward the back corner of the room, where you hear the clatter of wooden planks against the stone floor. Special guest for these proceedings. As you finish placing the wooden tiles on the ground, Vulcan, everyone else in the room is able to see, now that the Tiger's Eye has drawn attention to it, that you have assembled a teleportation circle.
Ooh.
And this is gonna be pissed.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. That she actually do say that, but kind of like low voiced, so those close to her might be able to hear it.
And so as not to steal the thunder of her gesture, a few seconds later, the symbols on the wooden planks are going to begin to glow. A rift appears amidst the characters, and slowly, as if out of a fog, two figures begin to materialize. I have to link the character in here. Oh man. Do we have... We got a new one, right? Did we ever get a new one?
We never actually did make a Heron
Oh
gun
man, you gotta do that.
because it happened in the last session.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll do it like this.
Of course, he could have been reincarnated again at this point.
I think we discussed that, and
I think we did.
he wasn't.
Once you go
I
Dragonborn.
think we said that he's still Iron Man at this point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, in the meantime, we shall use this one. There we go.
Oh, I saw Raiken.
Yes, Raiken is in there. Now, we didn't discuss it, but are you planning to roleplay him?
I can. I'll happily roleplay him.
I think that you would do a good job at that, because you do understand his desires, and it will make our discussions more authentic.
Not DM talking to DM.
Yeah. The two figures solidify as the haze falls away and the circle below them fades back to etched wooden planks. You see I'm gonna let you describe Vendar, because we never discussed exactly what his form looks like. But I do believe that it is not inaccurate to say that it's a average height Harengon.
Yes, he's got black with like white on his stomach and around his face. So he's kind of like a cow.
Gotcha.
That kind of pattern.
Is that patterning visible? What type of clothing does he wear?
He'll be wearing the same kind of clothing you normally would wear. So like his leather armor and stuff.
I see.
And his captain's hat.
So he is dressed as a fighter.
I guess actually he won't be wearing it. He'll still be wearing the captain's hat.
Of
I
course.
guess he'll still be wearing like nobleman's clothing. I guess.
Okay.
Fancy clothing.
That is sort of what I expected.
Not a lab coat.
No lab coat.
Not for this meeting.
Okay. Yes, so this, black and white furred Harengon with a leather tricorn hat steps forward, and beside him, a tabaxi of, leonine colors. Hair parted to one side, and long down her back, almost like a mane. She also wears the clothing of a noblewoman, matching, offsetting, complementing the Harengon who came through first. It is certainly an odd pair, a rabbit person and a cat person stepping out of this portal. All of you may make a history check.
Yeah, I sent you something.
Okay.
Tristan.
Let's see. Okay. Understood.
Oh, well. Desmond does not know anything about these people.
I got a 26. I rolled an 18.
Those underground connections run deep. You've not left Volinar in many, many years, but boy, do you know a lot about the world outside through description.
Look, people talk to Reggie.
Yeah, I sent you another one.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What'd you get,
I
Twilight?
think for Reggie, it's more he sees the two of them and he knows what Vulcan looks like, and he's like, the resemblance is uncanny.
I got a 17, but please bear in mind, anything Twilight knows she would have had to pick up after the events, because she was not on the mainland during the entirety of the previous campaign.
Yes. I'm sorry, what did you get, Desmond?
3.
Fun. Spider?
I muted.
Yeah.
No.
No, you're not.
Okay. What was this?
History check to identify the people that just appeared in a teleportation circle that Vulcan created.
16 on die, which has 17.
17. Alright. Morrigan.
12.
12.
I got a 10 on die, so it's average, I guess.
Alright, I actually need to check their history to see if they know who's just come into the room. Is that die still on the floor from last week?
Always.
I usually pick
Also
these
not-
things up.
Not sure if you want to know, but our pictures aren't on the bottom of the stream anymore.
Really? I wonder what happened. Because they were there.
Yeah,
It must have
the-
happened from the swapping of channels or something.
yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if I... Give me a moment. I might be able to...
When you first swapped, I had peeked the stream, and you did have both you and Jacob there.
Yeah. Alright,
I
give me a
don't know
second.
that
Let me
now.
try something. Let me try and see if I can shortcut it more easily. Ah, that did work. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I hadn't noticed. It's kind of behind my mic. Oh, Synthis doesn't. Dasha? Dasha, thank you for being more informed. Okay, so, yes, Reggie, with a 26, you are absolutely aware of who this is by description. If the pomp and circumstance, I guess I might call it, of, the Tiger's Eyes introduction of them hadn't been the giveaway. The people with 17s, you are going to... You're not aware of everything to do with this, but you know who the Harangon is. That is... well, I guess let me go down. With a 3, it's a Harangon and a Tabaxi.
You're not even sure if that's really them either. Like,
It's an odd couple. This is a very strange pair of people to have appeared here. Like, everybody's humanoid. Mostly people aren't, like, hunting each other for sport. But it's one of those things where you just can't avoid the comparison of a cat and a rabbit. You imagine that they must be connected to Vulcan because he put down the teleportation circle that got them here. With a 12, Morrigan, you have heard that there is a tech magnate who lives outside of Volinar, perhaps outside of Bromdor, who is producing you're aware of Vendar Draknir by name, by reputation, that he is a person who creates this technology that is illegal here in the city of Volinar. You know that Vulcan came from this person. That was established in the first session, so you know that you are in illegal possession of Draknir technology. You have never you yourself have never cared enough about the gossip of these things to know more than tech magnate and that his inventory is illegal here. So people who have guns, they're mostly criminals. Which is why you see so many guns in the underground. You can imagine that this must be him, since Vendar summoned him here and everybody is acting like this guy is very important. But outside of that, like, you only have your assumption. Yeah, I'm gonna say you only have your assumption that this is him. The people with 17s are aware of the stories of the Draco War from 10 years earlier, which was prior to Vendar establishing himself as this tech magnate. So you may recognize this guy from descriptions of one of the heroes that helped save the world from the dragons. Reggie, you know everything about this guy. Like, this is the bread and butter of what your connections are for, getting information and economic advantage, and this guy is the top of that pyramid.
I think that Vendar is Reggie's favorite of the old party. Honestly.
I'm so sorry to hear that. You are aware, too, through your connections, of the woman standing beside him, as being Lynn, the tabaxi to whom he married after the events of the Draco War, a business partner in every sense of the word, and what you know is that she has spent a good portion of the last 10 years learning magic to try and help him with his craft.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not unreasonable that she would accompany him through where he needs another teleportation circle to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So you are very aware of the situation here. You know, if he is here, this situation just became extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Not just because he is a renowned assassin, but because his father was an extremely well-known and very cutthroat business person. With a 26, you are one of very few people who is aware, like, intimately of the fact that the Syndicate came under the leadership of this current Tiger's Eye, when the last one was removed by Thaden Draknir and his machinations.
Mm-hmm.
So it is extremely unusual for this Tiger's Eye to have someone, a Draknir here, especially this Draknir.
Yeah.
This is, for lack of a better way to say it, big.
Yeah. I think Reggie is doing his best to let none of what's going through his mind show on his face.
Yeah. Fucking 26. Grandmother curses the name of Vendar's father to this day, or she would, were she around.
He just made things complicated over here, and that's just...
It's just unacceptable. The Tiger's Eye is going to close the fingers of her extended hand and plaster on a very diplomatic smile and say, "Welcome, to the king of magic technology, Vendar Draknir. It is certainly an unexpected honor to be able to welcome you to this place. I give
Thank
you
you for allowing me to be a part of these negotiations.
Allow me to introduce you to the Syndicate. You will only be able to see this room today. And these are some of my best people. They always get the job done.
Yes, these are the team that is working with my son, correct?
Indeed they are. They have been placed to care for Vulcan and assure that he is receiving the education you sent him for, and isn't getting into more trouble than anyone could handle. They have performed spectacularly, as I expected.
That is wonderful to hear. Thank you all for being good companions to my son.
I'm going to turn you up a bit. Whoop.
Glad to know him. And, Reggie is earnest in this. He's happy to have met Vulcan, as a person.
I believe that as they stepped forward and Draknir began addressing the Tiger's Eye, Lynn would be doting on Vulcan like a child, like a son.
Yeah. I like that.
Speaking quietly, asking about how things are going. Just a murmur below the very showy conversation, I guess we'll call it, between the two business persons of the room. She is going to redirect her attention to the two people you brought and say, I have invited Mr. Draknir here to participate in our negotiations. I believe that he will help me to convince you that this is where you will be the most safe and provided for to continue your research.
Yes, I can offer my extensive resources in helping you develop this technology.
And I will be happy to discuss with you, Mr. Draknir, exactly how this exchange of resources will take form. And I am glad to know that you are willing to work with me and help to provide a safe and comfortable place for these two to work. It is our understanding that you, she says, directing toward the two scientists, are in the midst of unveiling technology which will allow you to capture, siphon off, utilize power dropped to this world of ours by the great Lord Elsimanth and his dragons who parade the skies annually. Can you confirm this for business purposes? The two are going to stammer a lot before Dasha is able to say, yes, we have been working diligently for months, almost 2 years. And we believe that we have a stable artifice that will be able to harness the powers of Elsiment's dragons to output a form of magic that can be used. We are still working on making that last. At present, it is ephemeral. Spells must be cast within minutes or the power dissipates. But Sentis and I believe that we are very close to being able to make it last longer. We have a side branch of research that is focused on containing the power for later use, stabilizing it indefinitely.
That is what I am most interested in.
The Dragonborn is going to turn toward Vendar and say, well, I'm not entirely sure how long it will take to perfect that branch of the research, but everything that we have done so far is evidence that it is extremely possible, within our grasp, even. We need the resources to continue the research. Materials are expensive and hard to source. There is a lot of excitement on the surface for this. But...
Oh, that's exactly what I can provide. Anything you need.
He's, you can just see his eyes grow wide, and he, casts his eyes about the room momentarily before catching his breath and dropping to his knees entirely, placing his head against the floor, and saying, I could not think of a more capable benefactor than you. Dasha is going to tactfully get him to his feet. She says, yes, we are humbled by such an offer and believe that in spite of the events of the evening, the Syndicate has proven to be able protectors and resourceful benefactors. You implied earlier, Miss Tiger's Eye, that we had competitive offers from the surface. This is true. They were very competitive offers. But I have a strong inkling that were we to discuss those numbers in front of Mr. Draknir, that he might laugh. So I will not insult him or his good sense. If we are being offered a safe place to do our work and a commensurate budget or the ability to request and defend such requests, especially to one so well known and wealthy as Mr. Draknir, then I think that it would be foolhardy to continue to consider other offers. Am I correct in presuming that that is what is on the table here. The tiger's eye is going to shift her gaze to Mr. Draknir. There is a businessman's smirk beneath that eye patch.
Yes, the Tiger's Eye and the Syndicate here should provide you with adequate area to work, and I can provide you with any resources, any materials you need. I am very excited about this research, and if you can bring a... God, I can't think of the right word. If you can develop this technology, then I am very excited to be able to utilize it.
Indeed. We are very excited to be able to make this offer to you, and very glad to hear that it would be accepted. We will hammer out the fine details in a little while, after Mr. Draknir and I have had a chance to share a glass and become better acquainted. Mr. Draknir, I assume you would like a little bit of time to speak with your son, Vulcan.
Yes, that would be appreciated.
Then, Desmin, there are quarters which have been prepared. I would like you to escort our guests to them. A guard will be able to bring them back once it is the proper time to put all of this agreement to paper.
Yes, I will gladly do so. Senthis, Dasha, if you will follow me.
They're shaking in their boots almost literally, but they nod and begin to follow you out. Reggie?
Reggie looks over.
The tiger's eye looks at you very seriously for a long moment before smiling very pleasantly, saying, "Thank you and Morgan for ensuring this meeting could take place."
I did the best acting I had.
I am certain that you did. She nods to Reggie, and you get the sense that she is very well convinced that it was more your words than anybody else that got these people into the tunnels.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I opened it up.
She says
I'm just happy
nothing.
to see good people with good work being able to do the things that they like that are going to help a bunch of people. And he is honest in that statement. But, you know.
Change starts at home, doesn't it, Reggie? All of you, well done tonight. You have met and exceeded all of my expectations of you. And, I believe that I will have to, wait until after my discussion with Mr. Draknir and the others before I can properly debrief on your mission and, deliver compensation. It will be tonight.
Give him a nod.
I'm gonna go help make sure that they're settled. And Reggie will also turn to Lynn and Vendar and say, "Your son is a pleasure."
Lynn,
Thank you.
Lynn is going to smile her feline smile and say, "We've put a lot of work into him, and he's come out just perfect."
He is a wonderful boy. And I'll give him a little bump on the arm since he's so short. He's got the shoulder, but he's too short.
You ruffle the hair?
He was gonna like slap his shoulder, but he's too short, so he just kind of
Pants his like forearm.
slaps him in the back of the back, or on the back. It's on the lower back because that's how far he can reach.
Yeah.
And Reggie goes to make his way out to help Desmond with making sure that our new friends are settled.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
So it's like, I'm just gonna hop him through the door and hope for the best. Yes. We don't have to play it out since both characters are yours. But imagine that Vulcan and Vendar and Lynn are going to have a couple of minutes to catch up and dote upon one another before Tiger's Eye calls the Dracnir's attention back to her and enters into very hardcore negotiations.
Yeah, after Reggie walks out, Morgan will look at Dragon's Eye like, do you need me for anything more?
Tiger's Eye is going to say, "I will call you later on when we can debrief. You are dismissed for now."
Give her a nod and I walk out. Not even looking in the Dracnir's direction.
Yeah, you don't know if the Dracnirs think anything of the rest of you more than they are grateful that you are keeping their boy in good health. They certainly don't give anything away with their manner at this time. They are, except for the attention they dote upon their son, all business. Kind of scary, actually. There's just this air of self-assuredness that's completely impenetrable about Vendar.
To be 20th level again.
Passive perceptions. Is anyone's passive perception lower than 14?
Let's see. Yes, I'm at 13.
You're at 13. Anybody else below 14?
Vulcan's is only 11. Does not take after his parents in that regard.
True. His parents are both perception maniacs. So it's just Vulcan and Morrigan that are below 14. Okay. Then everyone else in the party, as you are being dismissed variously and departing the room, you know, keeping out of the way of the rich, scary people, are going to catch a glimpse, catch movement out the corner of your eye, and spot a tiny extra tricorn hat poking up over the back brim of Vendar's tricorn hat. And it seems to be...
I was wondering where he was.
just gently nestled above two black beady eyes that watch you all leave the room.
Good old squeaks.
You go bad squeakers.
So, I haven't built a room for them because I have been so busy for the last, like, month and a half. But you are going to all take them to what is a safe place. There is a guard outside the doors here, much like with the Tiger's Eye Zone office. This particular room is just like a apartment. It has beds, it has a place to take meals, it has a place to like a desk, a small desk to work at, and like shelving units and things to keep personal belongings and effects, wardrobe for clothing, but it is very much not a workspace. This is... If it is not where she expects them to live, then it is a place that she puts up guests. But given what she said, it is where she expects them to live. They will have a separate workspace, you know, because of the work they do. What she's brought them here for. And as they enter the room, they're both still like shaking with agitation. They go to Dasha sits down on the edge of the bed, and Sentis kneels before her, placing a hand on her knee, and she says, "I cannot believe we were just in the presence of the Vendar Draknir and his wife. What is this world we're in?" Sentis, squeezing her leg assuringly, says, "I'm just glad you were able to tell me who they were before I made a fool of us. But honestly, I think it went very well. As to what world this is, I'm pretty sure it's still Amaranta, but, I am similarly as discombobulated as you are, my dear." He's going to lift his head to those in attendance and say, "I believe that but definitely I owe you more than thanks. I owe you all an apology. We had no idea the world we were entering into. We saw only the work, the accomplishment, what it could do, and then the money that it could make us. We didn't
Nothing
realize...
wrong with making good money when there's good work to be done.
No, of course. But I mean to say that neither of us had really considered the potential for danger that our work might bring to us. The desire of other people to have what we are making. So, I am certain that it put you quite far out of your normal duties to have to protect us from that danger that found us. And I worry that were you not there, neither would we still be.
Well, luckily, we don't need to think about that world.
I still can't believe how many came after us. There was every door. There were no fewer than 10 of them. Shooting off those guns, casting spells. that we didn't take a single blow is nothing short of a miracle or the serendipity of your protection.
I think at this point Reggie needs to roll deception.
Okay.
Just because of the thought going through his mind
Okay.
of
To not let
what
it
the
show on his
Tunnel
face.
Rat's plan was to not let it show. That is a 15 on die, which gives him a deception of, I think, 26. Reggie's thinking is, well, they came in trying to say that they were us. They were clearly just trying to scare the shit out of these two, funnel them towards them, and then, like, be the saviors, quote unquote. So Reggie is trying to hide, like, any suspicion of this, like, play acting that he thinks the Tunnel Rats were performing.
I see. So you
Whether
feel
that's
convinced
true
that
or
they were
not
not
is-
in mortal danger, but you don't want them to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. With a 26, you are able to marshal your expression expertly, and instead of your disdain for the Tunnel Rats or the thoughts of the foolish nature of their plan, you are able to convey concern at these people in their moment of facing mortality.
And so he'll say, luck seems to be on your side, and that's nothing to scoff at. As a halfling, he does a, not a cross, but I guess what a symbol of Avandra, kind of like effectively doing a cross.
Yes, no, I got you.
Respect the luck.
He's going to kind of chuckle at that, only slightly uncomfortably, before giving Dasha's knee another squeeze and saying out the side of his mouth to her, I suppose that your prayers to Avandra were well placed, in fact. This is the messenger of Avandra for us, delivering her luck in response to your prayers. Dasha's going to scoff quietly and say, I find it is good to pray to a few gods, that one might answer in a time of need. She holds up a hand, and you can see that visibly the fingers are quaking as she says, I still worry for this meeting where we, how did she put it, hammer out the details of our tenure with the Syndicate. Whether or not Mr. Draknir is there for it, it is going to be hell on the nerves. But if the space is prepared, then we could get on continuing the work immediately. I have several ideas for trying to stabilize the output power. I can focus on that. I can think through these equations. That will distract me. Darling, I believe you owe one more important apology. The Dragonborn is going to pause, staring into her face a moment, and then he's going to look away chagrined, before turning to Morrigan, saying, my partner is right. It was extraordinarily uncouth of me to make such blatant and casual advances at you, Ms. Morgan. I hope that you...
She blinks and seems to have been dragged out of a trance. Huh? Oh, I'm used to that.
He stutters, and Dasha scowls and says, I am very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. A tiefling down here will attract some attention. Though I'm sure Twilight gets far more romantic ones than I do. Most
You
of them
might be
don't fear
surprised.
me by now.
I should think that the axe does well to dissuade unwanted suitors.
You might not be surprised.
few,
No, after you.
I've tossed out a few idiots from a tavern, but most of them are interested in Susan.
You might not be surprised to find the whip has the opposite effect.
Of the axe?
I'm sure you're good at using it.
Yes, of the axe.
You are right. I am not surprised to hear that. Though, just because he has apologized to Miss Morgan, do be careful. He will not so quickly learn not to make advances at you, Twilight. I mean...
Oh, don't worry.
He just sort of
I'm
like...
sure you have experience putting it in his place.
He's rubbing the back of his neck real hard. I mean, I wouldn't say no to a new experience in that regard, dear.
Just be warned. Keep your eyes off my barmaid, or you might have a few less fingers to work on your project.
Dun dun dun.
I will leave Susan alone. She's all yours.
Glad we could come to an agreement.
Being that all that is really left here is to do debrief, I suppose we can skip ahead to that. So, yeah, we've got 4 minutes. So, eventually, the guards will be informed to escort these people back to the office. The whole thing from when you entered and Draknir appeared to when they are released, having concluded the negotiations, is roughly 3 hours. It is extremely late by going by daylight. It's probably 2 in the morning at this point. And it is probably on purpose that...
I was gonna say, the best time to, negotiate with somebody else is when they're fucking exhausted.
The Tiger's Eye is nothing if not a shrewd businesswoman.
I do think that, after an hour, Reggie would ask if they wanted a drink.
Yeah, I think that all of that can be taken care of. You are...
just to ply them with a little bit of, just a little bit of extra alcohol before the meeting. Once it's clear that it's going to take a while, he's like, okay, I can help lubricate that in, my boss's favor.
Yeah, I want to be clear that the 3 hours includes them going back in the room and doing their negotiations. Not 3 hours before they're allowed to. It's their negotiation concludes around 2 in the morning. That's when they're finally released. They look haggard, but at the same time, very accomplished. They look proud of themselves. At least they believe they've gotten more out of the deal than they expected to be able to. Good businesswoman always leaves them feeling like they've won the negotiation. And that is when you all are called in to debrief. Just gonna teleport.
It's a good day for it.
Today is a good day to teleport.
Indeed it is. For our ancestors. Someday there will be group teleport. Now at this point,
We can certainly help.
yeah, at this point, even the tiger's eye is looking a little worse for wear. As she settles behind her desk, leaning her elbows upon it, leaning forward. You can just barely see that Winston is still curled up in her lap, partially under the desk, as she steeples her hands before her, watching you enter the room. As she says, "A good night overall."
Indeed.
It seems that way.
I will need a report of what transpired at the Nephrite Worm, especially as I am told there was a fire and the tunnel rats were present, so let's do broad strokes first. The charges that I put you to protect, unharmed, miraculously. Very good news for all involved.
There is one point on that I'd like to clarify. Some harm did befall them, but Reggie and I'm forgetting the name of Raiken's character.
Desmin.
Desmond,
Yeah,
and also
Desmond.
Vulcan.
Desmond, Reggie, and Vulcan were able to heal the physical wounds. I made sure the mental ones were taken care of. So as far as they're concerned, there were none. But if you are to ask other attendees at the event, they may tell a different story.
I will not be asking other attendees at the event. The two of them attest that it was like a magical divine shield of protection had been cast around them, and those spells and gunshots fell with a fury. They were never hit.
As far as they're concerned.
Magic is impressive. One thing on note. When the tunnel rats attacked, they came in with exploding grenades that blinded a lot of them. A lot of the people there. A lot of us managed to hide ourselves from the worst effects. And once, I forget his name, the orc.
Grolthus.
Grolthus. Once Grolthus showed his ugly face, he claimed that they were there on behalf of the Syndicate. Out loud.
My suspicion is that they were going to claim to be us, cause a bit of a fracas, get the two of them out and to safety via the tunnel rats, protecting them from the Syndicate, just to poison that well. But
if our friends are very lucky, Reggie, you are correct. I worry that they were there telling the rest of the room that they were the Syndicate, so that others would not wish to do business with us when they killed them.
That was my thought too.
We will not know, and for that I'm actually glad. I prefer not to, in this case. That said, they are protected. Blinding grenades they used.
Similar to
They
those we've
also
seen
made
on
a
the
very
cards.
loud noise. I think we talked over each other, so I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry. I said they're similar to those we saw the guards on the surface use. They were the ones who used them, right?
They use one item that looked like an elemental grenade, but it created the area of levitation.
Right, yeah.
So that is similar-ish to what the guards use. The guards have a ball that is kind of like the old elemental grenades, but where the old elemental grenades had a single button, these have 12 around their surface that are all color-coded and have a little image on them to let the user know what of 12 spells they're casting. So this was not, like, taken from a guard, since the guards don't use elemental grenades. They use those things that you guys stole.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you had said that we've seen flashbangs before, right?
Yeah, flashbangs are,
Okay,
at this time, known technology. Vendar, after the previous campaign, went on to learn about the flashbang that was used against him at the beginning and improve upon it.
What he
That
does.
poor Temple of Pelor.
Or Dracnia technology.
Yeah, so they threw some flashbangs in to the room to disorient everyone, and then they threw a magic grenade that made people. Or no, I don't know about that because I was deafened and facing somebody else. I don't know about the levitation
I
grenade.
didn't see the levitation happen. That's true. You were very focused on the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, and death. I love that
By the
it
time
does
I
make
came,
a better
became aware of
story.
it.
I said I love that it does make a better story. That's
Oh, yeah, so Reggie wouldn't start talking about the levitation grenade.
fair enough.
They also used this thing. Tyler will actually pull out the levitation grenade to cause some of our members and the clients to float.
She's going to look at it
That's
in your
clever.
hand. If you're offering it to her, she'll take it.
Yeah, she wants to take a look, sure.
I was able to dispel it.
Interesting. These looks quite a lot like the elemental grenades that Bromdor, Volinar specifically, produced quite a lot of during the Draco War. But something is different. The pattern, it's a different pattern. So it's not an elemental spell. This is the levitation, you said?
I assume so. All I know is it made people float. I didn't quite get caught in it.
It was very unpleasant.
The grenades, interestingly, were never Draknir tech. And this isn't either. Twilight, do you mind if I hang on to this?
You may, though I would like it back. At some point.
She's going to look a little confused at that, but she's going to shrug it off and say, very well. I simply needed to ask a few questions. The right people, the right questions. So, there were flashbang grenades, there were this levitation grenade, and there was gunfire and magic missiles and other terrible, horribly scary things assaulting our new scientists. But how did the nephrite worm catch fire?
I look at Reggie.
There are two stories for that one.
Desmin also looks at Reggie.
I would like to know the official story first.
The official story, Bode, one of the members of the Tunnel Rats,
I'm familiar with
through
it.
through something that set the fire. He was over by one of the walls. He just threw it wildly, causing chaos.
I see.
It was terrible.
And the terrible, awful
Almost hit some
rumor
people.
that no one believes. What is that?
That I happened to throw a Molotov in Grolthus' direction, and the fire spread much faster than I'm used to fire spreading in building, which is interesting. And as you're aware, I have enough experience in this realm that I should have a pretty good understanding of it. So something was weird about that building.
It is at least 30% of the reason you are still part of the Syndicate, that knowledge.
But no one would believe that. After all, you know,
Yeah,
No
I was gonna say,
one
Reggie,
believes
I thought this was a rumor.
that Firebug Reggie would have firebombed the nephrite worm. That would look incredibly bad for the Syndicate, and he knows that we do not want the Syndicate to look bad. Therefore, it is a good thing that Bode threw the firebomb. And do you know right now the status of the nephrite worm? Did they put the fire out?
it was not
Unlikely.
looking likely as we were leaving.
Fire spreads suspiciously fast, don't you think?
Did they use some kind of like lacquer that on the wood that just made it go up in flames that much faster?
She's going to rub her face and say it was newly reconstructed, so the wood would have been recently sealed, and therefore perhaps still coated in something that one might consider an accelerant.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But thankfully, since I previously informed my A-team that the place was newly reconstructed and reopened, they would never have been so foolish as to bring fire into a place made entirely of wood.
Of course.
That is why it is a dirty, ugly rumor that no one will believe.
Reggie's just nodding along.
Let's not entertain such a rumor right now. Let's
Damn
just stop.
it. I forgot something. Hang on. Oh, you. No, it was... Where are you? It's S, isn't it? Is it? Hang on, sorry. Oh, there it is. How could we forget?
Nephrite.
Nephrite.
Don't worry, we're almost done here, and then you'll get your cheese. I was leaning down as I said that Reggie's probably like looking up at this dog.
It is a German Shepherd. This is not a small dog. It is at least an
Eye level.
Why is there a dog following you?
He had to get out from the burning building.
He's part of the
He's a
team
good
now.
boy. I pet him.
He wasn't one of the animals that was eating my papers.
They had a lot of animals there.
You can't prove that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. The evidence is gone.
They did have a lot of animals there. Yes, the nephrite worm was famous, popular, for its ability to cater to the wants and desires of just about anyone who fancied themselves a posh rich person who could pay for experiences such as being in the underground. And if that included animals doing tricks or exotic creatures, it would not surprise me. I pray to Avandra that those animals got out of the fire, and that this one doesn't have an owner looking for it.
Out of character, did the birds that we set free, did they just fly away? Was it one in a cage?
None of them was in a cage. They were all
Which is the
leather
problem.
strapped to a perch, so people had to grab them and take them out physically. And two of them had big talons that were not safe to handle, and they were the worse for wear for it.
I thought Reggie had armor. He chose the one that didn't have.
Yeah, there was a
big talons.
There was a hawk, an owl, and a parrot.
The one that probably could use it was the one that you got, the parrot. Probably could have taken the talons.
Yeah. So, you know that some of the animals made it out. The birds, as soon as you were out of the burning building, you probably let go of them because they're just going to fly somewhere in the tunnels, and they will either find food and nest, or they will find a way out of the tunnels. Birds are smart. And they probably definitely didn't cost anybody a lot of money.
The insurance will cover it.
The insurance will cover it. Okay. So, who saw you leave, the Nephrite Worm?
One of the guys that got shot. Right?
A
Wasn't
tunnel
it, like-
rats?
Yeah, two of the tunnel rats, they went out, carrying, one of them carrying the other. There was Reggie was messing with.
Yeah, there was Desmin, and then there was the one other one who
Shot.
Yeah.
Alright.
dragged Gorg out that I calling out.
I had made an
But
assumption.
did Reggie see the other group of people that had been fighting the tunnel rats in the corner?
I think yes. Because they would have been in direct line of sight as you went for the door once the darkness moved.
Okay. There was a group of people that were also fighting some of the tunnel rats when they barged in to start causing their chaos.
Did you recognize their colors?
Did I?
No.
No.
Huh. Well, hopefully that won't become a problem later.
I imagine Reggie can probably describe them decently well-ish.
Did any of the tunnel rats die?
None of the ones that we were fighting. I was unable to check on the status of the ones that group was dealing with.
They were all alive and out of the building when we left.
All right. I believe that is most of the information I need, but it is all of the information I can handle right now. What I will tell to you is what I said earlier. Good job. You did exactly as I asked, and I have no regrets about this evening's proceedings. The last thing that you all need to be informed of is your pay. This particular deal was a little more lucrative than originally understood. And because of that, and your hand directly in making it happen, you will all be compensated very, very fairly. So, she's going to place down a small wooden box for each of you. Each wooden box contains 50 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
Holy crap.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Is it 50 or 15?
50, 50.
Oh, damn.
Basically, 1 platinum ingot apiece.
Yes. But coins spend a little more easily than an ingot does, so you get coins.
Indeed. But it puts it in perspective, I think.
I'm just imagining you have a chest that it like is the size, like just bigger than an ingot,
Yeah.
and you have a cloth in it that is like has embroidery on it, like a stamp on an ingot from the mint, and you just have that over the stacks of coins. So you open the thing and you see an ingot, and then underneath it just coins. Just because that would be funny.
Yeah, sure. She is a drama. She's dramatic. She has a flair for the dramatic, so why not? I do want to set expectations properly that future jobs are not going to pay this well. So, cliche as it is to say, don't spend it all in one place.
I will almost
I don't even
certainly
know.
spend it all in one place.
I'm not even sure what place I could spend this amount of money on.
And if there is anyone you wish to thank, I think you should direct it to one another, first and foremost, for seeing this mission through exceptionally, and then to Vulcan, who made this profit possible.
Thanks a lot, Vulcan.
You must say
Slap
that
in the
was a big
back.
surprise.
Happy to help. I can afford plate armor now. Yay!
And I think we'll call it there. Only 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
That's the way of things.
All right.
Now I can afford plate armor. Yay!
Yay! All right.
I'll be
thank
back in
you.
a little bit. I need to take my dog out.
All right. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all had a good time. Thank you to the audience for being here and chatting it up. We're happy to entertain all of you. And we will see you again next time on Desmond's Creek. Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Bye bye.